Well, good afternoon, and welcome to our July President's Update. It's hard to imagine, but we are almost through our summer semester. To kick things off, I want to celebrate that as of July 1st, Ivy Tech awarded 25,803 certificates, technical certificates, and associate degrees to more than 18,000 individuals for the 2017-2018 academic year. This means that Ivy Tech increased our completions of credentials by more than 4,500 in 2018 over the previous year and 22% overachievement to our 2018 goal. A sizable portion of those credentials represent technical certificates, which increased by 56% since 2016. This really, truly exemplifies the excellent work of faculty, program chairs, and all those who are advising our students to work towards those high-wage, high-demand, stackable credentials. So, thanks for your outstanding work. Let's keep it up because guess what? Now we're just over halfway to our 50,000 credentials per year goal. So I also want to congratulate our enrollment services teams across the state for their outstanding summer enrollments. We wrapped up summer semester 1% over our goal, which means we increased 368 students. Our goal was 11,837 and actual enrollment 12,205. While our enrollment goals are broken down by semesters within each academic year, which is summer, fall, and spring, the outcomes of each semester impacts our overall yearly goal. This means that the additional students will help our overall goal boost us into fall enrollment. It doesn't mean we can take our foot off the gas. We have a lot of work to do in order to meet our total annual enrollment goal. I would like to give special kudos to Bloomington and Terre Haute. Bloomington had a wildly successful summer and beat their summer goal by more than 1,000 students. And as a result, they are now 55% towards their enrollment goal for the year. They are up for summer. Terre Haute is up 54% is at 54% for their total enrollment goal. They are up for the summer as well, leveraging their College Connection coaches model, and they are really making great progress towards their full goal with their large applicant pool and solid process of converting those applicants to registered students. For the fall semester, we are currently at 60% of our total fall enrollment goal, a solid start and well ahead of last year, in which we saw a net loss of enrollment. But as I said, we still have much work to do. We have seen enrollment patterns in the past show a large percentage of fall enrollment happening very close to the beginning of the fall semester, but we still collectively must be laser focused and very intentional in this next 30 days. Thanks to everyone for your continued work and efforts in the enrollment arenas. As some have said, it truly is a team sport. Well, we have other specific kudos to give out. First, I want to thank the team of Noblesville for your great work on Gleaners Food Bank as part of the Hamilton County Hunger Relief System. This month, a new food pantry opens up at our Ivy Tech Noblesville location, which also houses our Goodwill Excel Center. Hunger is a leading barrier to completion, as we know in Goal 1, Strategy 1, which speaks to our wraparound services. We're also proud to see Goal 7, our community goal, at work. Another team I'd like to recognize is in our Legacy Northwest North Central bi-region. The Finance Department in the Legacy Northwest North Central bi-region underwent some major changes in 2017, including a redistribution of work, changes in reporting lines, and some staff reductions. This team serves our Lake County, Valparaiso, Michigan City, and South Bend Elkhart campuses. Newly implemented processes simplified functions and improved efficiency, but there were many changes that had an impact on morale and even a sense of disengagement. So several members of the team recognized this dip in morale and investigated ways to turn it around. Brooke Lichtenbarger and Summer Ditch helped the department write and win a finance, collaboration, and service engagement grant through the Indiana Campus Compact. They were awarded $2,250 to develop and host 4 team building sessions. Overall, the grant activities have been very successful within the finance department, and they want to pay it forward to other areas of the college by providing excellent customer service and spreading their positivity. Thank you, Andy Williams, for the sharing of this story with me so I could share your team's work around implementation to implement Goal 5, helping Ivy Tech become a great place to work. One of the highlights each year, as you know, is our annual President's Award Dinner that recognizes outstanding faculty from across each campus. This year is especially exciting because we're celebrating teaching excellence at all 19 of our campuses. I've asked Gwen Eldridge, who serves as the chair of our Faculty Council and Department Chair for Liberal Arts and Sciences at the Kokomo campus, to share some of the highlights of the awards that were presented last month. Thank you for joining us, Gwen.
Thank you, Dr. Elsperman. The Faculty Council was honored this year to work on some exciting projects, and especially the President's Award. This year, recipients were selected from all 19 campuses, and the review committee had quite a task before them as they read about the work of our amazing recipients. As we gathered a few weeks ago in the beautiful Indiana History Center to honor them, there wasn't a dry eye in the house as we heard their stories and experienced the passion that they have for their students. The 2018 President's Award recipients include Jane Hall from the Anderson campus, who is an assistant professor of business. She believes in teaching every man and woman to fish, as she includes skills building in her classes that prepares her students for success. We also have Stacy Strand from the Bloomington campus, who is an assistant professor of hospitality administration with a focus on baking and pastry arts. She says that her teaching philosophy is based on her belief that baking is a science that is one of logic, deconstruction, and understanding. She sees her role as a demystifier and as a facilitator. Richard Lamborn from the Columbus campus is an associate professor of psychology. Richard has been with the college for nearly 20 years and brings a wealth of clinical and teaching experience. Andrea Jefferson from the Evansville campus is an assistant professor of English. She believes that education has the power to liberate and to elevate individuals. Anthony Ramey from the Fort Wayne campus is an assistant professor of business administration. Anthony incorporates project-based learning in his classes to engage his students. Claire Maxon from the Indianapolis campus serves as a department chair for Foundations of Success. Claire believes in lifelong learning and that understanding each student's needs is important. Laura Lanning from the Kokomo campus serves as an associate professor of human services. Laura says that the most important aspect of teaching is the relationship that she develops with her students. And Andrew Irgong from the Lafayette campus is an assistant professor of physical science. Andrew believes that a teacher's role is to motivate and encourage growth through engaging students in meaningful learning experiences. Daniel Malon from the Lake County campus is an assistant professor of human services. He says that his goal as a teacher is to make a positive difference in the lives of his students. Leanne Recton from the Lawrenceburg campus is an associate professor of communication. Leanne says that teaching is her chosen calling. After years of teaching, she still leaves every class session asking how the next might be better and how to better engage and inspire this set of unique students. Annabette Gardner from the Madison campus serves as program chair of the healthcare specialist and medical assisting programs. Annabette has worked for the college for many years and actually began teaching as an adjunct faculty member. As a first-generation college graduate, she shares her own educational journey with her students as a way to inspire and motivate them. Tom Chester from the Marion campus serves as department chair for arts, sciences, and education. He believes in the importance of humor and challenging students. He also can often be seen enjoying coffee from his favorite Three Stooges mug. thought you should know that. Paul Oman from the Michigan City campus is an assistant professor of mathematics. He believes that every student can do math and that math is fun. He says that it's all about learning and getting the students to perform to the best of their ability. Autumn McNichols from the Muncie campus is an associate professor of psychology. She says that her teaching philosophy is rooted in her belief that education can transform lives. Scott Caldwell from the Richmond campus is an assistant professor of agriculture. He believes that a student's job is to build a strong foundation that includes good soil. That is, being student-focused, providing opportunities for growth, giving each student individual attention, and including laughter. Larry Hortog from the Sellersburg campus is an assistant professor of business. He brings a wealth of experience and believes that every student has the ability to learn. He says that his job as a teacher is to find the keys to unlock that potential. Brent Spring from the South Bend Elkhart campus serves as the Hospitality Administration Program Chair. His focus is on inspiring students and helping them to understand why learning is a worthwhile project. Carrie McCammon from the Terre Haute campus is an assistant professor of mathematics. She believes that the ultimate goal of education is to assist individuals in their pursuit of their full personal potential. Donald Spears from the Valparaiso campus is an associate professor of human services. He encourages his students to think beyond the classroom as they are involved with community service. So after meeting these amazing faculty, you can imagine how difficult it must have been to choose the Founders Award recipient. At the same time, considering Scott Caldwell's passion for his students and for his work, it was actually an easy choice. Scott's students cannot say enough about how much he inspires them to learn more and to do more with their lives. It is my pleasure today to congratulate Scott on receiving the Glenn W. Sample Founders Award for Teaching Excellence. With this, he has done his students and the Richmond campus proud.
First of all, I want to take a moment to thank the family of Glenn Sample, Ivy Tech Community College, the Faculty Council, and specifically Gretchen Keller for putting together an amazing program. All 19 of us were able to meet new friends and reconnect with others that we hadn't seen for quite a while. I even learned that the farm that Glenn Sample grew up on is only about 14 miles from my family's farm where I grew up. Heidi Power is the 2015 Krista McAuliffe Sabbatical winner. She once said, "No matter how many years we've been teaching, we should feel a little bit like a rookie every year by trying something new and not being afraid to fail." Watching the videos of those nominees that evening gave me many ideas to try out in my own classroom so that I can continue feeling like a rookie even after 20 years of teaching. I can't wait to be better at encouraging their math, science, and communication skills. I'm excited to continue to bring real-world applications and experiences into the classroom and outside of it as well, so that they can see the value in what they're learning. And while I can't bring myself to appreciate coffee as much as Tom Chester, I want to keep having as much fun as he does. The President's Award was an opportunity to see the passion that's present all across the state. We're passionate about our students. We're passionate about our content and career areas, and we're all finding ways to transfer that passion to our students by helping them find their path. Or, as someone once said, we're trying to help them find the right seats on the bus. In just a few short weeks, the students will be back on campus in full force, and we're going to be able to try those things that scare us. And we should try those things because it's what's best for the students.
Thank you, Scott, and congratulations on the Glenn Sample Award. And thank you, Gwen, for sharing the stories of our outstanding faculty. They are an important part of making the dreams of our students possible. And I have only begun to realize that on every campus, we have so many deserving, talented, and unbelievably committed faculty members. Thank you so very much. So thanks to all for serving the college and, most importantly, our students with such excellence. And of critical importance to ensuring our faculty and students can be successful is providing them with the classrooms, the labs, and the facilities to support that learning. In my initial tour of Ivy Tech campuses 2 years ago, I was struck by the disparity of our buildings across the system. We were successful 2 years ago in securing funding from the Indiana General Assembly for $80 million, which will help us with projects in Kokomo and Muncie. So let me spend just a moment now sharing how do we go about that process of determining which capital projects we take forward each 2 years. This year in June, chancellors presented their capital projects for their campuses at the Capital Review Committee. The college's Capital Review Committee consists of several state trustees and members of leadership, including 2 chancellors, who then go about ranking the projects. As we did 2 years ago, this committee used the paired comparison tool to determine the most important capital projects for the college. As you can see, each of the 8 projects was ranked against each of the other 7 projects. From this, we create a prioritization. Interestingly, the number 3 and 4 project from 2 years ago became the number 1 and 2 project this year, which is what you would expect if as the first 2 projects of 2 years ago were funded. In August, we will submit these 3 projects for review for the Indiana Commission for Higher Education, CHE. The projects will be Columbus, followed by Fort Wayne, and then a combination of projects for smaller R&R projects across the list. I will present the Ivy Tech budget's request for the 2019 through 2021 biennium, including our capital projects to CHE first in September of this year. Each of the 7 public institutions will make similar requests. Then CHE evaluates the capital requests and makes recommendations to the legislature on which projects should be funded. Keep in mind that will be a recommendation only. The Indiana General Assembly will determine which projects it will and will not fund ultimately. We will then present in this process directly to the legislature 3 times, in December to the State Budget Committee, in January to House Ways and Means, and then in March to the Senate Appropriations Committee. The legislature considers the state's projected revenue, the debt it holds, and the revenue sources for each institution, and must determine the most pressing use of the funds across the state, across that broad budget, which includes K through 12 funding, Medicaid funding, Department of Children's Services needs, public safety, and many other needs. Since 1971, the state of Indiana has made those loan payments for Ivy Tech's debt and other institutions' debts. Constitutionally, the state cannot issue its own debt, so that is why Ivy Tech's bond rating is important as we take on these new projects, as we issue our own debt, for which then the state comes behind us and makes the payments. So, as part of that, in June, Finance led the charge as Ivy Tech was rated by S&P and Fitch. Thanks to Finance's great preparation and the college's solid financials, we maintained our AA rating, resulting in Ivy Tech ranking just behind Purdue and IU and ahead of the other state higher ed institutions in those ratings. This resulted in a rate of 3.42%, lower than Ball State, saving taxpayers of Indiana millions of dollars over the next 20-year life of the bond, for which the state will be making those monthly payments. As I mentioned, 2 years ago, the General Assembly approved funding for our capital project in Kokomo, and that construction is well underway, as you can see. Meanwhile, the Kokomo team is working to implement 4DX on their campus, and they actually had a 4DX party. You may also remember another campus we talked about earlier this year that had a 4DX party, Lawrenceburg. I've heard some great things about what's happening on the campus and implementing 4DX, and I've asked Shakira Grubbs, Lawrenceburg's Vice Chancellor of Enrollment Services and Student Success, to share more about the work that's going on. Welcome, Shakira.
Thank you, Sue. Happy to be here.
Well, Lawrenceburg is doing very well with their enrollment this summer. Specifically, your summer to fall persistence is among the highest in the state. Can you tell us more about how you're doing that?
Absolutely. we are doing so well in the area of summer to fall persistence due to the efforts of the recruitment and enrollment teams. These groups have very specific tasks to complete each week based on the students they serve. For example, the advising department works closely to monitor and contact all non-registered students. They use in-class advising and very intentional outreach campaigns to secure our enrollment. Our Express Enrollment Center collaborates with the advisors to assist with outreach and work diligently to convert applicants to registered status, while at the same time, the Express Enrollment Center staff focus on completing the enrollment checklist and for all new first-time, readmit, and transfer students. The key to our success has been weekly data tracking and review, along with intentionality of our efforts, while monitoring the impact of our efforts on our enrollment data.
That is terrific work. So, could you tell me how 4DX is working on your campus to help in those enrollment efforts?
Yes. We have taken a unique approach to 4DX in Lawrenceburg and Batesville. The Express Enrollment Center and Advising Department chose to approach 4DX as a joint effort since they are co-located and our efforts are complementary to each other. During our initial session with our coach, Dr. Rebecca Risholti, the Express Enrollment Center and Advising Center staff were energized by the collaborative spirit of 4DX and both devised unique WIGs and leading indicators. Advising decided to use fall-to-fall retention for their WIG, and the EEC is focusing on conversion of applicants to registered students. Each week, the Express Enrollment Center and Advising Center staff meet to review their leading indicators, conduct a data review, and set leading indicators for the coming week. This meeting sets the tone for the coming weeks and gives all staff a goal to achieve. The senior leadership team also plays an active role in these meetings.
So, how does the senior leadership help in that process?
Given the nature of the C3 structure, our leadership team has the opportunity to combine efforts on all campus initiatives, which prevents our work from occurring in silos. Our team works very closely to ensure all members know of the successes of each and every department, and we share resources as needed to ensure all students are being served. The senior leadership team has fully embraced the 4DX model and has been instrumental in educating the campus on both the model itself and of its importance. Campus-based trainings were held to ensure that all faculty and staff had exposure to a high-level overview of 4DX, with more detailed sessions held as functional area teams were formed. The senior leadership team ensures that 4DX and strategic plan language is embedded into all of our meetings. We were very excited to celebrate our implementation through a 4DX kickoff event on June 1st, which included a sharing of the developed WIGs and leading indicators, as well as 4DX strategic plan t-shirts, 4DX trivia, a cookout luncheon by our local grill master, Chancellor Mark Graver, and wrapped up with 4DX cookies.
Thank you, Shakira, for sharing what's working on your campus and for all the good work. Please share my appreciation with the campus as well.
Thank you very much.
So to wrap up this month's President's Update, I've invited Columbus Chancellor Stephen Combs to share both about his campus and community. Stephen, welcome. I understand that this year you actually celebrate 25 years with the college. So could you start by telling us a little bit about your time at Ivy Tech?
Absolutely. First of all, thank you for letting me see how all the magic happens here. I appreciate that. And it has been a wonderful 25 years. I actually began my career on the Evansville campus in 1993 as a design technology instructor. Later, I had additional opportunities in leadership to serve as an instructional technologist, followed by a program chair position. In 2017, I was called to active duty and actually left the college for 2.5 years, where I was able to serve at Elmendorf Air Force Base, Alaska, and Scott Air Force Base, Illinois. After my active duty time, I was able to come back to the college and joined our Lafayette campus as the Dean for Applied Science and Engineering Technology. 2 years into that role, I found out about a job as a Vice Chancellor for Academic Affairs at our Columbus campus. I was not familiar with that community, but quickly came to appreciate their tagline, unexpected, unforgettable. I was later moved to the role of campus president and am now very excited to serve in the role of chancellor.
Well, congratulations. So as is custom here, would you tell us more about the communities you serve in Columbus and the campus itself?
Absolutely. We have an amazing community. Columbus prides itself on its renowned architecture and design, most importantly on the collaborative spirit and the efforts that have led to the city's development as one of the most unique communities in the state. Our city is ranked 6th in the nation for architectural innovation and design behind big metropolitan cities such as Chicago, New York, Boston, San Francisco, and Washington, D.C. More than 90 buildings and pieces of public art by internationally noted architects and artists fill our small city. While these pieces shape Columbus and provide it with an identity, the greatest asset for our community and our campus is the people who call Columbus home. They are the ones who drive our community forward. Through thoughtful and intentional collaboration, and you're going to hear that word many times, our community continues to grow and thrive. This collaborative spirit flows from Columbus and flourishes throughout our campus's 4-county service area. In addition to Bartholomew County, where our current Columbus campus is located, we also serve Decatur, Jackson, and Jennings counties, with a total population of near 180,000. The ECHO Education Attainment Network that operates throughout southwestern Indiana helps guide this collaboration by bringing together educators from K through 12 and higher education to work towards a common goal of educational attainment. Within our 4 counties, we have 3 community-based sites located in Greensburg, North Vernon, and Seymour. Students can start their educational pathway at any of these sites and complete their certificate or degree at the Columbus campus. Our campus partners with local employers to ensure our programs are aligned. We continue to innovate and develop new programs to meet industry needs. Some examples are our new aviation flight program, which occurs on our airport property, and our upcoming Muscatatuck Cyber Academy. Like our community, the strongest asset of our campus is our employees. The Ivy Tech Columbus faculty and staff are sincerely dedicated to the success of our students and are laser focused on providing the best programs and experience. In short, they are simply an awesome team, or as we like to refer to them, they're the bee's knees.
The bee's knees. Well, Steve, I have heard that they are a pretty groovy group there in Columbus. So tell us a little bit more about a program we've heard about, iGrad, and how that's working. I know it started on Columbus and is now beginning to spread to other campuses. So share a little more.
Yeah, iGrad is a very unique program to Columbus, and as you mentioned, did start there. The program is focused on increasing high school graduation rates in our service area. And through this program, we partner with high schools in Bartholomew and the 2 counties that we've expanded, Jackson and Jennings, to help students in 8th through 12th grades overcome their academic barriers. Volunteers from the community provide mentoring and tutoring for these students. About 650 students participated in iGrad in the academic year 17-18. With support of the iGrad program, we have had over 95% of seniors graduate. We are excited to note that about 1/3 of the students in the iGrad program enroll at Ivy Tech. In fall 2017, 30% of the seniors attended the college, and we're on track to see that same number for this fall.
Well, and I'm not sure if we spelled it out, but these 650 students were considered greatly at risk.
They were.
When they were identified earlier. So great work. Thank you to your campus for growing this program and setting an example as we expand to this type of experience across the state. You also mentioned earlier Muscatatuck Cyber Academy. Tell us more about how your outstanding faculty and staff are making that become a reality.
Yeah, thanks for that softball, because this is an exciting program. Nestled in Jennings County, almost smack dab in between 3 metropolitan communities of Indianapolis, you have Louisville, and then Cincinnati, is a little town called Butlerville, Indiana. And Butlerville is home to the Muscatatuck State Development Center that opened in 1920. In 2005, the facility closed and was released to the Indiana National Guard to become an operational range for Camp Atterbury. I just learned last week, as a matter of fact, that our own Kristen Moreland was responsible for that conversion over to the Indiana National Guard.
So how does the Indiana National Guard use that facility now?
Muscatatuck is now a large-scale, live, complex training environment. It provides such features as cyber defense network, national grid protection, water treatment protection, emergency operations centers, a training embassy, and a controlled magnetic spectrum. Its operations are comprised of what we call 4 environmental layers. The first layer is a natural environment consisting of 85,000 acres. Behind us, as a matter of fact, you'll see that part of the environment can be flooded to simulate a disaster operation. There's also a second environment, which we call the built environment, and it consists of some 200 plus buildings, a 100-acre reservoir, paved and unpaved roads, overpasses, intersections, parking lots, roundabouts, and is home to Indiana's only subway station. Now, granted, the subway only moves about 5 feet one way or another, but it is the home of our only subway station. So it's basically a self-contained city. They even have their own working farm that's home to a camel named Sahara. Next is the technical environment, which consists of capabilities to support cyber-physical, electromagnetic spectrum, electronic attack, and defense operations. When you arrive, your phone may actually tell you you're in another country because they control the entire spectrum of radio frequencies. And finally, the sociological environment, which consists of an in-play population made up of staff, tenants, clients, and now going forward, students, who become specialized role players during operations. This will be an opportunity for our students to receive a stipend and help fund their education. Muscatatuck is truly a unique national, and as we've been saying, could be an international treasure going forward.
So how does this site, this Muscatatuck site, become home to an Ivy Tech Cyber Academy?
It obviously does not start overnight. 3 years ago, I had discussions with the Indiana National Guard about how we can partner. My military experience I had some interest in that space and in working with them. After many hours of conversation, we never quite nailed down a project. In 2016, I had the opportunity to tour Muscatatuck. And immediately the lights just turned on, and it wasn't that we couldn't find a way to collaborate. We were in the wrong location. Using the stakeholder engagement process, which we've deployed as one of our frameworks for engaging our community, we brought together key stakeholders to discuss how might we offer college courses at Muscatatuck that provide a living, breathing environment and also provide students with a nationally unique experience. We gathered at Camp Atterbury, Muscatatuck, and on our campus for several months and finally found the perfect programmatic fit, cybersecurity. A couple of months later, we had developed the Cyber Academy concept. Because of the great work done by all the cybersecurity faculty statewide and led by our own Pam Schmelz, program chair in Columbus, the college is now one of a handful of community colleges that is certified by the National Security Agency, or NSA is often referred to, as a Center for Cybersecurity and Education for 2-year colleges. This was appealing to the National Guard because they wanted to train a group of cyberspace warriors of their own. The unique features of the Cyber Academy include it's an 11-month accelerated program that's really modeled after our current ASAP program, so we have experience in that space. It will include 3 national certifications. Instruction will occur at Muscatatuck, the state-of-the-art cyber warfare training, and they're there all day, every day. And what's really exciting for us is the site will also have available free student housing that's been provided by our partners at the National Center for Complex Operations. It truly is a unique cybersecurity program that can't be duplicated anywhere.
It's amazing. So how many students are you accepting in this first cohort, and what are your plans for growth?
Well, my group would pass out if I said 1,000, so I'll back it down a little bit and say we capped our initial cohort to 40, and we've made amazing progress. As of today, we have 31 enrolled and another 40 plus in the pipeline. Almost daily, our adult recruiter, Chelsea Shaw in Columbus, receives inquiries. It appears we're going to meet our goal. Our partners, though, are not happy with 40, and they've asked us to consider an aggressive growth pattern to fill the state and national need. Earlier this month, we learned that there is an international interest, which we want to thank you, Sue, for helping us navigate through those discussions. Using the stakeholder engagement process, we plan to reconvene our guiding team, and we will discuss a new big, hairy, audacious goal, as we say, the BHAG, of 500 students by 2025. Muscatatuck has a strategy to grow, and we really want to be a part of that process.
This is really exciting. So what is the secret to pulling it all together like this?
So I mentioned earlier the word collaboration, and I mentioned that Columbus was home of collaboration, and it truly was a collaborative effort. That was the key to our success, not only internally but also externally. It's been hard work, but I've got to tell you, it's been a bunch of fun work too, as we say. And the program will have just a tremendous impact nationally and potentially internationally. But you know, what's more exciting to me is the change and the economic impact that this program is going to have on one small county in our service area that can really use that lift. But also, if you think about a student who attends an 11-month program, graduates and now can compete for $40,000 to $70,000 jobs. That truly is life-changing.
It really is. Thank you, Stephen, for being with us this week and for your leadership in Columbus. And thank you, faculty and staff, for achieving that great milestones that we're doing as we pursue our strategic plan. But as I close, you might notice I'm a little more casual than usual. We are beginning Indiana Black Expo, of which I just left, and I'll be going back to today. And you can see some pictures from last year. I look forward to working with many of you who've agreed to join us at Indiana Black Expo and will be with us throughout Sunday. We have once again set up 4,000 square feet of interactive booth that will allow and illustrate and engage all of those many visitors to the many high-demand, high-wage programs that we have. Thanks to all who will be working this weekend, engaging with our communities, and helping to illuminate the great programs and outstanding faculty and staff we have here at Ivy Tech. So, I want to make sure you plan to join us for our next President's Update on August 24th. Now, we know that will be after classes actually begin, so let me give you best wishes as we enter peak enrollment season. Remember, it's a team sport, and gear up for the fall semester. Thanks, and have a wonderful weekend.